This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 26 and verses 11. Lord, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, when thy hand is lifted up, they will not see, but they shall see, and be ashamed for their envy at the people, yea, the fire of thine enemies shall devour them. First and foremost, I'd like to begin by giving all praises, all honor, all glory to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI BAHASHAM RAHA. Praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father's true name, in the name of his only begotten Son, with whom this world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and also in the name of his Holy Spirit. That's what I said in the ancient Hebrew tongue. And I would like to give double honors double to the elders and apostles of Greatmillstone, our teachers that surely do rule well. Peace, love, and salutation to the men, brethren around the four corners of this world that continues to spread this word, this gospel in all sincerity and in truth. Your brother Kalab coming back to you with another bit of edification to yours of Israel, mainly the elect. Today's lesson is going to be another segment, more or less, touching on one of the hot topics throughout the years, right? Prophecy, Revelation 13 and verses 16 on down, right? Dealing with the mark, right? The mark of the beast, which is has been a controversial topic by the masses out there, with all the different interpretations and different perspectives of what it could be, right? All the different opinions, right? Which the scripture tells us that, there will be many that will be deceived. Let me read that here, because there's a whole great spirit of deception out there, and the masses is within that realm of deception, because this is about the Lord's elect. At the end of the day, as we always emphasize, you see, the elect is the ones that has that foreknowledge. The elect of the Lord is the ones that are forewarned. The elect is the ones that are going to believe, all right? And the elect are the ones that are going to be preserved and saved from the coming evils and destructions that YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI has destined for this world, right? So is the book of Sirach chapter 3 and verses 24. It says, for many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion, hath overthrown their judgment. Many are deceived, right? But not the elect. As it says in Matthew, the 24th chapter and the 24th verse, if it were possible, they would have deceived the very elect. The elect is not deceived. The elect is undeceivable, right? The elect is sealed with knowledge, understanding, truth, right? That remnant, as the scripture prescribed, will return to the Lord in truth, not in falsehood, not in deceit, but amat, 100% amat, the truth, that which is calculable, right? So now we have a lot of deceivers out there, right? Like we always touch on these different groups, right? Main one being the IUIC when it pertains to the mark of the beast, right? Which as of June, right, in June 2023, the year that hopefully all the prophecies of the Lord come to pass, right? And our Bishop Nathaniel and his men, right, of IUIC, Israel United in Jesus Christo, Christ Serapis Christos, right? They have been very vocal concerning the MOTB in the month of July. I wonder why they haven't been so vocal about it in June, right? Because if we could recall, some years ago, this very same Bishop Nathaniel that is now vocal and very expressive about the micro C hip, he said that there ain't no micro C hip, right? He denounced that. He said, nah, that ain't it, right? He made fun of it. He and his men, right? They came up against the teaching, right? They came up against the truth. They weren't willing to receive, right, that fact that a micro C hip will be used in the future for buying and selling, and that has a great connection, or that is the mark of the beast. All right, he denied it, but now here he goes again, just like he denied Jacob's trouble and then went back on that statement and said he didn't say that and there will be a time of Jacob's trouble. He is now doing the same. He's now doing what? The same concerning the mark of the beast. He's now doing the same thing, which proves, it confirms that these men are to stay away from. That's what it should confirm to you as a listener, right? Or a member of IUIC in itself. We know a lot of you that are in IUIC are there following blindly, right? The Lord even said that there would be blind leaders of the blind, all right? And a lot of you are blindly following these deceivers, right? But we ain't too concerned about you, right? We are concerned about the elect. If you're not of the elect, this message is not for you. You could turn the channel now, right? You could go watch your UIC videos and continue to be entertained with the Give Me a Bomb and Deacon transform mode, and all the different wedding ceremonies. You could go and watch over your fashion show Passovers and be entertained, right? But here we bring out the raw truth. We shed light on current events, right? We reveal lies, right? That's what we're about here. Warning the sheep. All right. And the sheep of the Lord, the elect of the Lord, needs warning concerning these false teachers. All right. Because the scripture says the meddle not. Let me get that. This is the book of Proverbs 24 and verses 21. It says, my son, speaking to the men, right? Banyam, sons of power. All right. It firstly speaks to his men. Read about that in Proverbs the 8th chapter. Unto you, O men, I call. My voice to the sons of men. So he said, my son, fear thou the Lord. You gotta fear the Lord. All right. And these men don't teach the fear of the Lord. You know why? Because if they did, they won't be speaking these things. They won't be speaking against things and then coming back and retracting the statement, right? Without saying, these men taught it and they were right. They always try to find some way to sneak it in there, without giving honor to whom honor is due and fear to whom fear is due. Because the Most High, it's clear to see that he's dealing with Greatmillstone. He's dealing with that group that has 100% truth, right? And these men fail to acknowledge that. So it shows that they don't fear the Lord. Because we see through scripture, we see through history in the Bible, right? And when you speak against the men of the Lord that the men that the Lord sends, the Lord don't take that lightly. All right, as the scripture says, he that despiseth the words of power shall be destroyed. And the words of power is today being given to you through his men. So when you despise what the men of the Lord say, you're lining up yourself for destruction. So where is your fear? Where is the fear of the IUIC leadership? Where is the fear of the IUIC members to know to depart from these men? All right. It says, fear thou the Lord and the king, whoever the Lord sets up. A king is who? The king is who the Lord set up to rule, right? And as for now, the Lord has set it up, right? The men of Greatmillstone, beginning with the elders and apostles, Apostle Taha, in fact, right, who has been one of the forerunners or the forerunner, right? Nate said, Alex Jones is the one who made this thing popular. Well, to us, guess what? Apostle Taha is our Alex Jones. All right, he pushed this. He's the one that heavily enforced that spirit upon us to push that device. Which thank be to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, he did. Right? He had a channel by the name of What is the 666 Mark. He used to go into it heavily. He still goes into it heavily. And we do also. All right? So these are the men that the Lord set it up. That is the king. But these men don't have no fear for that. They don't have no reverence for that. They seeking their own preeminence. They love that high seat. All right? So they ain't going to humble down to who the Lord has truly set it up. Right? When it's even clear to see. It says, and meddle not. Is he warning? Meddle not with them that are given to change. Meddle not with them that are what? Given to change. As you see the title today, from ain't no microchip to we gonna find out. Listen up, listen carefully to this devil at his work, right? Listen to what he has to say.
Right.
So they couldn't find out who he was.
Exactly. Now watch the next one that a lot of now this next one, go to the next one, the microchip. Esau's been talking about this from the 70s. It came popular with Alex Jones, but they're still doing it. Go ahead, put that up. Come on. Read that.
The microchip implants that lets you pay with your hand.
Now notice, this one is a chip. The one that Amazon got, it reads your vein pattern. Two different technologies. Which one is America going to pick and go with? We're going to find out.
Now all of a sudden, we gonna find out. From ain't no microchip to now, we gonna find out. Which one is it? They're going to pick, right? What's written in prophecy. All right, it's not like the America or the United States of America, could do anything outside of what the prophecy says. We went through it from time to time. Mark, the word mark in Revelation 13:16 goes back to the word charagma, which the Apostle Taha goes into all the time, right? Goes into graven, right? Graven, and the word graven, right? One of the synonyms for that word is etching. What is an etching? Let's look up the word etching, right? Pull up the word etching here. I'll pull it up on the screen so we could all read along. Right.
Etching.
Right. So the word etching, right? It says a print produced by the process of etching, right? So they didn't really define it here yet. Give you some synonyms, right? Engraving, print, impression, block, plate, dry point, cut. What? A cut is one of these synonyms. A cut. Let's move on. So the art or process of producing etch plates or objects, right? It leads us to the word etch.
Etch.
Which is engrave metal, glass, or stone by coating it with a protective layer, drawing on it with a with a what? With a needle. With a needle. Do we need to read anymore? As I said, the word charagma, right, goes into the word graven as well, and we could prove that too, right? Let's go to the word charagma, right, or the scripture here, in fact. in the Greek, right? It's a Greek word. Let's bear with me a second. Apostle Paul. Is all it takes, and it takes a little research, you know, looking into words in the book of Acts 17 here and verses 29. It says, "For as much then as we are the offspring of the Most High, we ought not to think that the Godhead is like unto gold or silver or stone, graven by art and man's device," right? We're going into the word graven. What does this have to do with the M-A-R-K? Well, the M-A-R-K, right, in Revelation 13:16 goes back to this same Greek word.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
Right? Which charagma, right, is stamped an imprinted mark, the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of followers of the Antichrist, right? That is the description they give, right, concerning it, where it said the Antichrist, but we know that it's anti, properly pronounced Mashiach, which means against the anointed, where there isn't one anti-Mashiach or Antichrist, as they would say, but there are many, as confirmed in the book of 1 John, right? Many anti-Mashiach. The main anti-Mashiach is the Edomites, right? They are against the Lord. They slew him 2,000 years ago, right? They changed his images, right? They've done a great work against the Lord in these times. But anyone coming with that notion or belief or vibration where they don't believe in the Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, that is an anti-Mashiach right there, right? Or anti-Christ, as they would call it right there, you know. But then definition B, says the mark branded upon horses. Think carved, sculpture, graven work. Graven work. And when we went into the word graven, right, when you look up the word graven, look up the word graven here. Right, the word graven. See more.
grave,
It says engrave an inscription or image on a surface, to fix something indelibly in the mind. Let's look up some more. A synonym for the word graven. Right? What is a synonym for the word graven? It says cut or impressed into a surface. Cut or impressed into a surface. Synonyms: engraved, etched. We just looked up etched, right? Which goes back to the use of a needle. Incised, inscribed, carved, carven. You can't get around it, right? When you dig deep into it, you do your research, right? You find that all arrows point to the use of a needle, right? With a micro C-hip in it. And this is why today the devils at IUIC have to try to sneak it in there, right? Sneak that part into their doctrine after having, tried to confound it, right? After having tried to deny the existence of a micro C-hip, right? They have to now today acknowledge that it's something that can, and guess what? It will be used. All right? It will be used in America. That's what they're leading to. This is what's going to happen. We brought out the articles, WEF, right? World Economic Forum, stating to us that the CBDC, the central bank digital currency, has planned to go under your skin if you want to participate in society. If you want to participate in society, you are going to need a microchip, not the ability to have a palm scan. You see, these devils, as the scripture says in the book of Second Thessalonians. Let me just read this and draw this example here. Right, draw this reference. Second Thessalonians chapter 2 and verses I start at verse 8. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed. Who's that wicked? Esau, Edom, the so-called white race. Malachi 1 and verses 4. Right? And he's being revealed today. His very agendas are being revealed. It's being revealed who he is, right? He's the main enemy, the arch enemy of our people, right? Going back to Genesis, the 25th chapter, right? 27th chapter as well, where he lost off on the blessing and the birthright, right? That rightfully belonged to us, all right? But he was bluffed with to prove that he despises spiritual things. He's a carnal fellow. And being the carnal man that he is, today he wants to carnally mark you. Not spiritually, but carnally mark you. It's at a point they were actually saying that the mark of the beast is a spiritual thing. I don't know if you all remember that. IUIC, all right, and some other groups as well were saying that the MARK of the beast is a spiritual thing. No, it's not. It's a physical thing, and that's why they today have to talk about these physical things like palm scanning and microchipping plans when they are now talking about the MOTB, because the vision is speaking. See, when the vision speaking, falsehood had a hush. All right, falsehood had to try and get it act together. when the vision starts to speak, you see, when it's right before your eyes, that is when the people, the pushers of deceit, they just had to stumble, they just had to mumble, they just had to stammer, right? They started do the twisting and the additives, and that is what you're witnessing here today. All right, by the IUIC. Don't be deceived, don't be fooled. Leave IUIC. You're part of the elect and you realize that it's real deception taking place there. Leave. That's what you're supposed to do. Meddle not with them that are given to change. Right? So 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 8 again, it says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. The spirit of his mouth, right? As we know, the Lord, all right, is a power of knowledge, right? And he has sent this word, and he has sent it into his men to speak, right? Prophetic words, prophecies, the spirit of his mouth, right? The men of the Lord today bringing out these prophecies. That is the spirit of the Lord's mouth. And shall destroy him, and they shall destroy, with the brightness of his coming. Because that's one of the things that we herald, the coming of the Lord, the day of convincing, right? The day of doom to this world. It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. Even him whose coming is after the working of who? Satan, the spiritual entity Satan. They come in that said vibration of the spiritual entity Satan. All right. And one of the things that the spiritual entity Satan does, let's read about the spiritual entity Satan a bit. And I want to go to the book of Luke, Luke chapter 22. I feel I should pull this one up for us to read along here. Satan, because apart from just tempting us with words, like he did YAHAWASHI, right, 2,000 years ago, where Satan combated him with scriptures, Satan would have put thoughts in his mind. Satan doesn't just talk to people. There's a point where when Satan needs to get the job done, this is what he does. Let's read about it here in the book of I'll start at John chapter 13, and where should I start? I want to flow into this. Verses 21. John 13 and verse 21. It says, when YAHAWASHI had thus said, he was troubled in spirit and testified, prophesied, he spoke. All right, which only men supposed to be doing, prophesying and speaking, right? Out there. Women supposed to stay silent. You get a prophetic dream, you share it silently and go back to being silent. All right. It says, and said, verily, verily, which is truly, truly, I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. He's speaking to his 12 disciples and saying, one of all you, go in and betray me. As it is written, right? Psalms, it speaks about that. Psalms 41, right? Talks about one of his familiar friends which did eat of his bread, lifting up their heel against him, right? Which we know today was Judas Iscariot, right? Judas Iscariot, and there's a lot of Judas Iscariots today. There's a lot of betrayers of the Lord today. Men who were once calling on the name of the Lord that sold out, that took the bag, just like Judas did. And what did happen to Judas in the end? He died. He died a shameful death. He committed suicide. And this is what these men are going to do. These men that deny the Lord, that deny the truth, they're going to commit suicide by receiving that electronic oil, by receiving that MOTB. Verse 22, it said, then the disciples looked one on another, doubting of whom he spake. Like, oh shit, who's going to do that? One of us? Now there was leaning on YAHAWASHI's bosom, one of his disciples whom YAHAWASHI loved, which was John. Simon Peter therefore beckoned to him that he should ask who it should be of whom he spake. So Peter saying, John, Yahanan, right? Ask him who's that guy, right? He then lying on YAHAWASHI's breast said unto him, Lord, who is it? YAHAWASHI answered, he it is to whom I shall give a sup when I have dipped it. And when he had dipped the sup, he gave it to Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon. So he pointed out who it was, to John, right? At the request of Simon Peter, the head disciple, right? It says here, verse 27, and after the sup, when YAHAWASHI gave Judas the sup, when that sup went into his mouth, Satan entered into him. This is one of the things that Satan does. Satan doesn't just talk to you or seduce you with words. You know, like Esau came with a lot of words of seduction, a lot of philosophies of seduction, right? A lot of theories of seduction, right? Which those things could be resisted through the knowledge that you might have. No, I'm not going to do that. You could speak against it. Like we have different religious beliefs today speaking against, right, certain philosophies that Esau has put out there, certain theories that he has put out there, right? But when Satan wants to get the job done, when Esau wants to get the job done, who's coming after the working of Satan, what he's going to do is enter into you. That's what he's going to do. He's going to enter into you. His coming is after the working of Satan. Remember that, 2 Thessalonians 2. Right? So how is Satan? How is Esau? Right? Because he's also known as Satan, Shatan, the adversary, the one who stands against, right? Against the nation of Israel. How is he going to enter into you? Very easily. Through that microchip device. He can't enter you through a palm scanning. Right? He can't enter you through the credit card. He can't enter you through paper money. So this is why today the WF came out and said the CBDC, the central bank digital currency, which is run and ran by the global elites, right? Esau Edom, They want to get under your skin. That's what they want to do. They want to enter you. All right? So it's not a debate. It's not a debate as to which one they're gonna choose. We'll see. Let's go back to hear what this deceiver said. Right? Let's play it again.
The microchip implants that lets you pay with your hand.
Now notice, this one is a chip. The one that Amazon got, it reads your vein pattern. Two different technologies. Which one is America going to pick and go with? We're going to find out.
And you will. The one that they're going to pick is the micro C-hip. You best believe it. All right? That is the future. And that what I'm saying here now was said, right, in 2007 by a news anchor by the name of what is his name again? I think it's Daniel. His name is Brian Williams. Right? It's Brian Williams, the news anchor. I believe he's also a journalist, right? In 2007, he came out and said that all Americans will receive a micro C-hip implant in 2017. Now, at this time, a lot of people would have seen that as far-fetched, right? You know, just like the IUIC, when they came out and said, ain't no microchip, right? They saw it as something far-fetched as well until now. You see, the vision, as the scripture says, the vision is yet for an appointed time. Let me read that in the book of Habakkuk, right? It's very important to read because he said 2017, right? We've been looking out for it from ever since as well, right? There were even certain years that were entitled the year of the charagma, right? The year of the micro C-hip, right? That's because we're looking out for that. We're looking out for them prophecies being fulfilled. And they are, right? That's the spirit of being. A spirit of prophecy. Testimony of YAHAWASHI is the spirit of prophecy. Being about these prophecies coming to pass. A lot of groups know about that. They're about the fashion shows, right? The fun, right? They're about the gimmicks and theatrics. You're supposed to be about the prophecies of the Lord. He said, I rather that you would what? Prophesy. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verses 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. We don't know when that time is, but we know it's going to happen, right? It's going to come. It says, but at the end it shall speak like it's speaking now. There ain't no other end. This is the end. All right? We living in them end times. It says, and not lie. Not going to lie. It's not going to be twisted, tainted, adulterated. It's going to come raw. It's going to come just like the Lord said it. Right? It's going to involve buying and selling. A micro C-hip implantable device that is going to involve buying and selling, and you're going to need that to participate in society. Right? Though it tarry, because since 2007 they've been talking about it. News anchor came out, Brian Williams. A micro C-hip will be implanted, will be received by all Americans, right? In 2017, it didn't happen, right? Not saying that there aren't Americans that don't have it, right? Because I have another clip in here to play very shortly, right? There are Americans today that have that device already, right? So it says, do it tarry, wait for it. Wait. You gotta wait. It's a patience game. Because it will surely come. It will surely come. What is that? It? As pertaining to the mark of the beast, the micro C-hip, or known as the NFC chip, whatever type of chip it's named, right? That is going to go under your skin to buy and sell. That's it. It says it will not tarry. It will surely come. It will not tarry. When it comes, it's coming quick. All right. So now, as the scripture tells us, watch, and pray. All right, because the spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. You see, at that time, it's known as the hour of temptation. This is when they're gonna bring it to a point where you had to choose, right? If you want to eat or you want to live or you want to bow, what are you going to do? What are we going to do? What we supposed to be doing now is praying for his strength, praying that the Lord leads us not into that temptation, but deliver us from it. All right, as he promised, he said, because Revelation 3:10, you have kept the word of my patience, I will also keep you from that hour of temptation. So we got to keep these words. We got to make sure and speak these words faithfully, live these words faithfully, and the Lord ultimately will keep us. But once you're speaking lies like these groups and twisting words and deceiving people, the Lord ultimately will cause them to take that device. And that is what he said in the book of 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. Again, going back there real quick. So pull out a key verse here. 2 Thessalonians 2 and verses 10. It says, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish. Who's the them that perish? The 2/3 of the nation of Israel that are in America and the rebels of our nation around the four corners of the earth. They perish, right? Because they receive not the love of the truth. Why? Because they receive not the love of the truth. They despise this truth. They spoke against it, that they might be saved. Speaking against this truth, not receiving this truth, means you are going to die. You're not going to be saved. The Lord is going to what? As it says in verse 11, and for this cause God shall send them strong delusion. You're going to have strong delusion. A strong delusion is going to come upon you that they should not, or that they should, believe a lie. So even if they might say to themselves, I ain't taking no chip now, the Lord is going to send a spirit upon you, a strong delusion. All right, we're gonna tell yourself that this ain't the mark of the beast. Take it anyway. I had to eat. Just like that strong delusion came upon a lot of you all to take that inoculation, the devil's poisonous juice, right? That spirit is gonna come upon a lot of you all again to take that electronic device, right? Read this here. Speak. It feels good to know the truth, to be in truth. All right, to speak truth. Because speaking truth, being in truth, living truth has a great reward. Truth better way the victory. That's what it said. All right. Sirach chapter 4 and verse 25. It says, in no wise speak against the truth, but be abashed of the error of thine ignorance. That's what they're supposed to be abashed. What does the word abashed mean? Let's look this word up. You know, we like to look up words here. Abashed meaning to be embarrassed,
abashed,
disconcerted, or ashamed. Ashamed. And what did we read in Isaiah 26:11? All right. Initially, what did I read? Right? Lord, when thy hand is lifted up, that's the prophets today lifting up the banner of truth, right? Warning the people. They will not see, they ain't gonna perceive it. They ain't no microchip. We told them, but they said, nah, but they shall see. And you see that they're beginning to see it now, right? It's becoming undeniable now. They shall see. It's going to be right in their face and be ashamed. They're ultimately going to be ashamed because the way they're going is not that they're saying ways, boy, these men was right. You know, we should have taught the right things. Salakia, humble themselves to the elders and apostles of Greatmillstone. No, they continue to push their pride and deception. And it's going to lead them to shame. They ain't getting away from the shame. It's the shame they're trying to get away from while they're twisting up their words now. But they ain't going to dance their way out of this one. All right? There shall be a shame for the envy of the people. Right? There's a whole envious spirit in the IUIC. It's from the leaders of them. They envy the apostles. All right? Yea, the fire of thine enemy shall devour them. When them nuclear missiles are shot, bet your bottom dollar. Right? They're going to be in them flames. They're going to be the fuel to that fire. IUIC members, those that remain in that nonsense, they are going to be burnt. All right. So as I said, I had another clip in here. because microchip is the future. All right, in America. Yes, in America. It's the present as well, and it's the future. Mandated. It's a mandated thing that's gonna happen in America. But let's listen up here a bit.
Payment is the next frontier. I am on the waiting list for a payment chip. However, I don't think it's for everyone. When you first see it, or when I pointed out,
You say you don't think it's for everyone, and so true. It's not for the elect. All right, this device, that electronic device, this is someone that is already electronically branded. The future of microchips with Daniel Jaramillo, right? And he's speaking on the microchip being the future of payment, right? But he said, don't think it's for everyone because not everyone is going to receive this. That's why you often hear us say the microchip is a failure, right? I know we didn't say it, the Bible said it. He disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. They have a desire to have everyone electronically tagged, but the Lord has his elect that is untaggable, right? They ain't going to receive that device. Remember, Esau is known as the serpent, the crooked serpent, and the Lord said he formed the crooked serpent. Anything that the Lord formed or Lord created, which is everything he created all things, right? Don't work according to their own will. He controls them. He controls everything. The serpent can't bite who he wants. He has to bite on command. He has to bite who the Lord wants him to bite. And the elect of the Lord is off that bite list. Don't bite them. Can't bite them. If you're not of the elect, you will be bit. All right? So let's listen up to him again as he finishes.
to people, and you can see my chip right there.
That is the future. That is what is going to be implanted in the masses of Americans, right? Around the world, like they're doing right now, even in Sweden, right? An electronic device is going to be planted. Doesn't matter what hand, right, left, butt cheek, right? Brain, side of your head, forehead. That device, once under your skin, you are doomed for destruction. Revelation 14:9-10. Read that. Read it slow. All right?
It is a little bit, ooh, but it is a little weird. But I do think that a lot of people will see use of it for access control.
Yep, they will.
Will see use of it for keeping some of their personal details.
They will.
I know for sure I would eventually get a chip with my private key in it for my crypto wallet, and that can carry a lot more information with it. So I could do maybe ID verification with it, and I could maybe allow some payments. It's something that you carry that you don't have to carry. It is in you.
It is what? In you. And this is where Satan wants to be. This is where Esau Edom wants to be. He wants to be in you. All right? Fear the micro, see him.
There's ways to leverage that technology for good.
So you heard it, right? It's something that is present and is about to be a predominant future, right? Mandated upon the people by the global elites that wants to be in you. They want to have total control. And we see it a lot in movies. Right now they're talking about some eye scan. I think it's called the OP, right? Which we saw in a lot of movies, like one for in particular I always speak about, Anon, right? Where they had an ocular implant in the masses of the people, that had all the details and the information, everything. It was an identification device that was implanted into them, right? That is your future. It's undeniable, right? Me close off with this precept here. It's good to know that IUIC is, speaking about the micro CHIP, the mark of the beast more often, right? As the scripture says, whether in truth or pretense, YAHAWASHI is preached or the truth is preached. You understand? So whether they're doing it in a deceptive way or what, it's being pushed out there. It's being known, right? the book of 2 Corinthians 2 and verses 11. It says, lest Satan, who's Satan incarnate today, so-called white man, should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant. We are not ignorant. We know of his devices. We know the microchip will, all right, be used. That is the mark of the beast. Okay? And you need to stop being a child, as the scripture says, that we be no more children tossed to and fro by every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men that lie in wait to deceive. Stop following these deceivers and acknowledge the truth for what it is. All right? The mark of the beast, Revelation 13:16 prophecy, is dealing with a microchip, an implantable device under your skin. Not palm scanning, right? Not the eye swab or your iris scan, sorry, right? But it's dealing with an implantable device. So with that, I give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Double honors, double to the elders and apostles of Greatmillstone, our teachers that do rule well. Peace, love, salutation to you, men, brethren, on the four corners of this world. I continue to spread this word, this gospel in all sincerity and in truth. Brother collapse and keep feeding your faith. Starve it out to death. Stay strong. Shalom.